I'm Daichi Yamatsuki, a 38-year-old who works at a company that manufactures and runs her own fashion brand. Since joining the company as a new graduate, I've been traveling overseas as a global business development manager. Which, I guess, is why I'm still single, without a girlfriend.
Welcome back, Mr. Yamatsuki.
Oh, long time no see, Shinonome. Have you been? It's been 2 years since I returned to Japan. When I arrived at the Tokyo headquarters, my junior colleague, Shinonome, spotted me and called out.
Thanks, I've been well. But more importantly, Mr. Yamatsuki, did you get taller again?
Haha, I don't think I'm still growing at this age.
It must be because you've seen the big wide world, Mr. Yamatsuki. You just seem bigger.
He's casually praising me as usual, always trying to compare his height to mine, though he's a full head shorter. You've become quite a good-looking man yourself. We should catch up on your time in Japan. I smile and pat his head, when suddenly... Whoa! What is this swamp? Where did it come from?
You patted my head. Swamp, swamp, swamp. It's a swamp. So cool, I'm sinking.
Hey, Shinonome. Why are you chanting some weird spell? Is this a bottomless swamp?
It's okay, Mr. Yamatsuki. Don't fight it. As an otaku, you just gratefully sink into the swamp created by your favorite character.
It feels odd saying this myself, but what are you doing, dragging your favorite character into the swamp too? After safely escaping the mysterious swamp, I head to my usual cafe to gather my thoughts. I've been coming here since before I went abroad for my long-term assignment, and now that I'm back, I stop by every day.
Welcome. Oh, it's you again. Thank you so much for always coming by.
Hello, do you have today's special lunch again?
Of course! It's your favorite, traditional Japanese set lunch.
Her name is Risa Fujino, the cafe's owner. From the first time I came here, I've secretly had feelings for her.
Please make yourself comfortable.
A few months ago, when I returned after 2 years, I saw a shining ring on her finger. Of course, a woman this wonderful wouldn't be left alone for long. Fujino, are you married by chance?
Oh, well, I was actually proposed to not long ago. You noticed quickly.
I've been watching you closely, but of course, I can't say that. I saw your beautiful ring. Congratulations. I pretend to be calm, but I still haven't fully processed it. Will I ever be able to truly congratulate her from my heart? I'm 38 years old this year. She's 27, more than 10 years younger than me, and my love ended just like that. I'll just have to support her happiness as a regular customer. That's what I thought, but a few months later, an unexpected turn of events awaited me.
Sorry, Risa. Don't be mad at him, okay? He just thinks I'm the better woman.
A woman with an outwardly kind demeanor sneers triumphantly, the mismatch giving me chills.
Why? We've been best friends for so long. Why, Eel? Come on, Risa, don't shout. You're scaring me.
Don't worry about it, Risa. I'll pay you the compensation.
That's not the point at all.
I've never been in a relationship myself, but I've witnessed plenty of love disasters around the world. That's probably why I could immediately understand that she had just been thrown into the depths of despair. That guy must be Fujino's fiance, and the woman next to him, her best friend, I assume. As I watch the pair leave, I notice Fujino about to break down, and before I know it, my legs start moving toward her. Are you feeling any better? I rush to Fujino's side and now find myself at her cafe after closing hours.
I'm sorry. I must have embarrassed myself in front of you.
Don't worry about that. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's now 9 p.m. I've already been here for an hour, but I don't mind at all. In fact, I find myself wishing I could stay by her side until her tears stop. Then, Fujino starts speaking slowly, in broken sentences.
That man earlier, he's my fiance. And that woman is my best friend since forever. It seems they've gotten close behind my back. It's shocking, right? To think my world could change so completely in just an instant. My fiance and best friend. They've abandoned me.
She's trying hard to suppress the tremble in her voice, forcing herself to stay cheerful. Her bravery makes my chest tighten. Fujino, please don't be alarmed. I love you.
Huh?
It might not be the right time to say this, but I'm tired of regretting not confessing. So this is probably my selfish declaration of love. 2 years ago, when this cafe had just opened, I lived nearby. When I first came in, I saw you and couldn't take my eyes off you. You were just that captivating. But at that time, I was already set to leave for overseas work. So I told myself confessing wouldn't make a difference, and I left Japan without saying a word. And after 2 years of flying around, I came back recently, only to find out that you were already engaged to someone else. I regretted it. I pretended to be happy for you, saying congratulations, but deep down, I was really sad.
Mr. Amatsuki.
Take your time. I'll wait as long as it takes for your answer. So, please, would you give me a chance? This one-sided love I thought I'd have to take to my grave. Now, I look straight at Fujino, determined to make her happy this time. From that day on, I started pursuing Fujino with everything I had. Of course, I'm mature enough to be careful not to overwhelm her. Good afternoon, Miss Fujino. Your hairstyle looks lovely today.
Oh, thank you.
As the days passed, Fujino gradually opened up to me, and her smile became more natural.
Have you been to France for work, Mr. Amatsuki?
Yes, it's such a beautiful country, isn't it? I love France.
Me too. Actually, my grandmother is French. I'm quarter French. My parents and grandmother live in France, but for various reasons, I stayed in Japan alone.
I noticed Fujino's sad expression and was about to ask her about it when...
Oh, Risa, isn't it? What a coincidence. Iyo.
The last people we wanted to run into appeared out of nowhere.
A new boyfriend already? Wow, you're really desperate, huh?
For someone who used to depend on me so much, you sure moved on quickly.
That's not...
Stop it. What do you think you're doing?
Huh? What do you mean? I'm the ex-fiance of the girl you're holding so protectively. I mean, no big deal. I'm sure she still has feelings for me. She used to run the cafe for me, didn't you, Risa?
Fujino freezes, speechless. Could there be something behind this?
Haha, see? Too bad. No matter how hard you try, she's still...
You must be really desperate. Am I that much of a threat to you?
What?
I know she's still caught up in you two. I know her heart isn't fully mine yet. But even so, I choose to stand by her side. That's my decision.
What are you acting all cool for?
After that, I couldn't let him hurt her anymore, so I took Fujino with me and left the scene. I drove Fujino to a scenic spot to help clear her mind.
Thank you, Mr. Amatsuki, for standing up for me. I'm sorry for causing you trouble.
Of course I'd stand up for you. After all, I love you.
Mr. Amatsuki, you're really such a kind person. I'm lucky to be with someone like you.
Her cheerful voice sounds unusually melancholic. It's okay to cry if you want to, Fujino.
You always show up at just the right moment when my heart feels like it's about to shut down. And you say the kindest things. You're such a mysterious person. It's been 2 months since you confessed to me, Mr. Amatsuki, and you've saved me so many times since. I keep wondering why you care so much about me. And yet, before I knew it, I started looking forward to seeing you every day.
Why me, you ask? That's a hard question. But the more I learn about you, the more I fall in love. I don't really know the reason.
I always did everything for my ex-fiancé. I lived for him, not for myself. But after receiving your kindness and love, I finally realized something. I was running the cafe because he told me. Someday I want to semi-retire and run a cafe with you. I once told him I wanted to live with my family in France. But he opposed it and I went along with what he wanted. I centered my life around someone else. And when I lost him, I didn't know how to move forward. My entire life revolved around him. And now I know that was a mistake. I have you to thank for that, Mr. Amatsuki. Thank you so much.
That smile, her genuine smile, is the one I've been mesmerized by all this time. That smile, directed only at me, is so precious. The reason I devote myself to you, Fujino, is because I love you. I'm sure you loved your ex-fiancé once too.
Yes, but now I find myself thinking about you far more often, Mr. Amatsuki.
Wait, does that mean...
I'm sorry it took so long, but I love you too.
What is this? Is this a dream? This one-sided love I thought I'd take to the grave. 3 months after confessing, it unexpectedly came true. Meanwhile, the two who betrayed Fujino had begun living together at Takasugi's place.
Hey, Jisen-kun, I'm way cuter than Risa, right? I want you to tell me you love me more. Come on, Jisen-kun. Can't you leave work for tomorrow?
Sorry. I have to finish this by tonight. It's urgent.
So you don't love me. You're still in love with Risa, aren't you?
That's not it. Hey, let's have dinner soon.
Forget it. I'm not your servant, and I'm not cooking for you. Make your own food.
What? Wait, what?
Io storms out of the house, frustrated.
Damn it, when we were dating, she was more eager, and even a bit devoted at night. But now, as soon as I switched from Risa to her, she started demanding more and sulking whenever she didn't get her way. And now, she won't even cook. I'm not your servant? You've gotta be kidding me. Risa never interfered with my work, and she always cooked for me.
Takasugi mutters bitterly to himself, realizing too late what he's lost. A year has passed. Now 39 years old, I still fly overseas occasionally, but I mostly work at the Tokyo headquarters. Today's a celebration party for Love Tonic Co. Limited.
Hey, did you hear? He got married, and he's being promoted to executive director thanks to his accomplishments. No way! I had my eye on him too. Rising to the top on his own merits. How cool is that? I wish I had the chance to approach him more, but he was rarely in Japan. Hey, Jisen. Who are they talking about?
Huh? Oh, it's probably that super elite guy who succeeded in Love Tonic's overseas business. I haven't met him yet, but they say he speaks more than 10 languages. Real impressive.
Apparently, Takasugi Jisan had been invited to the party as a representative of Love Tonic's business partner. Beside him was Io Ubaida, now Io Takasugi, attending as his wife.
So he's more impressive than you, huh, Jisen?
What? Hey, you're supposed to support your husband in times like this.
Before Takasugi can finish, the room suddenly stirs with excitement.
Here comes the guest of honor. Wow, his wife is beautiful too. No way we could compete with that.
Drawn by the murmurs, their eyes are pulled toward the entrance where they see, "Nice to meet you."
What? Risa?
No way. How did that woman end up with such a catch?
Yes, the guest of honor today is none other than Love Tonic's global business manager. And the woman standing by my side, whom everyone is staring at, is my wife, formerly Risa Fujino, now Mrs. Amatsuki. Risa, don't be nervous. I'm right here with you.
Yes. Thank you, Daichi. Well, Mr. Amatsuki, I've heard a lot about you. Thanks to your fluency in multiple languages, our company has finally been able to expand globally.
Thank you, Mr. President. But I was merely doing my job as part of the team. This success wouldn't have been possible without the support of the entire team and everyone back in Japan. Long before I joined, Love Tonic had failed once in expanding overseas. But years later, we were given a second chance, and my team in global business development took on that challenge.
Different cultures require a different approach. We need to blend in and innovate at the same time. Thanks to Mr. Amatsuki, we were able to connect with the local market and break through. I really admire you, Mr. Amatsuki.
Shinonome, who had been handling marketing from Japan, looks at me directly as he says this. When I entered the foreign market, your support from Japan helped me many times. The reason I'm able to speak so many languages is simply that I'm a language enthusiast. My journey into languages started back in middle school. I was naturally drawn to other languages after developing a love for English. I got into reading original versions of foreign films and watching them without dubbing. In university, I continued studying languages, interacting with international students, and communicating in their native tongues. All of this was driven by my love for languages and the joy of being able to laugh and converse with people all over the world. It's those passions that have shaped who I am today. And now, I have the most wonderful wife by my side who supports me. I'm so grateful that she even travels overseas with me, and I'm determined to protect her. I wanted to introduce her to everyone today. Please take good care of my wife. A round of applause erupts from the employees and business partners gathered around me.
Why? Why does she always get to be the happy one?
The Takasugi couple had kept some distance, standing apart from the crowd.
You? What are you talking about?
Ignoring Takasugi, who's now growing more alarmed, she grits her teeth and starts walking toward me.
Hey, Io, stop!
Takasugi's panic is understandable. After all, this is a party hosted by one of his major business partners. Io strides over with a determined expression, but suddenly changes her demeanor as she approaches me. It's as if she's been reunited with a long-lost love, throwing herself at me.
I've missed you. I've been looking for you everywhere. Risa, how could you? How could you steal him from me? Give him back to me. What are you talking about?
To anyone who doesn't know the situation, it might look like a tragic love story.
I wanted to marry you. I waited for you all this time, even though you were overseas. But you abandoned me.
Her performance is so convincing that the room buzzes with gossip. Some might even believe her.
Daichi? What's so funny? This isn't something to laugh about.
But as I laugh, the room falls silent. Risa, too, stares at me in shock. Don't make me laugh. Save your nonsense for when you're asleep.
What?
You spent years pretending to be Risa's friend, stealing her happiness bit by bit, didn't you?
What are you talking about? You've been tricked by that woman.
Enough. I've been in love with Risa since before I left for overseas. Don't drag me into your mess.
Takasugi, she's your wife, isn't she? What have you done? Starting a fight with a major client? This won't end well for you.
I'm sorry. Io, we're leaving.
Pale-faced, Takasugi tries to drag his frozen wife out of the room, but I won't let them leave just yet. Wait a minute. Apologize. Apologize to my beloved wife right now. Admit that you were jealous of her, that you couldn't stand losing to her, and beg for her forgiveness. You pretended to be her friend, but in the end, you were always the one in her shadow.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was so jealous of you, being loved by everyone. All this time, I thought of you as a dear friend, never once thinking about who was better. Goodbye, Io Takasugi.
A few days later, after the chaotic party, peace returned to our lives.
Today the cafe closes for good. So much has happened, but thank you for everything.
Fujino, who had always kept her hair long, cut it short. Now, she's excited for the days to come.
Risa.
Hello, Mr. Takasugi.
The man who came to see her was Jisan Takasugi, now looking more worn out than ever.
Haha, you don't have to be so formal. You used to call me Jisan-kun, didn't you?
What do you want?
We made a promise, didn't we? To run this cafe together someday. You kept this place going all on your own for that day, didn't you?
There was a time when we talked about that. But that future will never come. You chose this path.
But please, I'm begging you. Let's start over. I've realized just how much you loved me. How much you did for me.
I see. But now, I have no love left for you.
That can't be. Io and I, we're already over, so please.
I'm sorry. This cafe is closing for good today. I've decided to move to France. It's time for me to live in the country where my grandmother and parents are.
What?
I don't think we'll ever meet again. Goodbye, Jisan Takasugi.
Wait, I can't live without you.
I've already chosen my path. And the only person I can imagine by my side now is Mr. Amatsuki. You were always the one to show me that I'm worth something, that I'm special in this world. You taught me that I didn't need to live my life according to someone else's standards.
Risa had lived her life running the cafe for him, wearing her hair the way he liked it, living solely for him. And Takasugi, complacent in receiving her devotion, acted selfishly and paid the price. His overwhelming pride had led him to this fate. There's no other way to describe it. Kneeling before her, defeated, Takasugi crumbles under the weight of the future he brought upon himself. After that chaotic celebration party, Takasugi faced disciplinary action. He lost his job, divorced his wife, and tried to cling to his old promise with Risa.
Risa, I'm sorry.
But that too was beyond his grasp, and now he leads a life of ruin with no hope of returning to society. As for Io Ubaida, who had deceived everyone.
Why did you do such a thing to Risa-chan, who saved you so many times?
Her parents, who were deeply grateful to Risa for all she'd done, harshly scolded her and kicked her out of their home. It's said that she wandered aimlessly, humiliated, until she somehow ended up sinking into a mysterious swamp. But the truth lies in the depths of that swamp.
Grandma!
Soon after, Risa decided to move to France, choosing to live near her family. The old Risa, who used to suppress her own feelings for the sake of others, no longer exists. She's now making choices for her own life, and I plan to support her all the way. I too consulted with the company, and they allowed me to keep my position as an executive while transferring to the France branch. Sometimes, people end up putting themselves last without even realizing it. For family, for a lover. I don't think that's inherently wrong, but I've learned from people all over the world that your life is your own. The life I've chosen for myself. I want to walk this path with Risa, respecting and supporting each other. I hope we can live lives that let each of us shine in our own way.